Did you suffer from culture shock or homesickness? And if so, how have you managed that?
Yeah, I think every culture has something surprising. Um, for me, a cultural shock to be here was, well, this is going to be funny, but sushi.
Yeah.
Or medium rare steak. That's something I'm not used to from back home. We do not have cold meals. And particularly because I think we have so much food and waterborne diseases at home that we cannot afford to have cold meals. So everything we have is pretty much hot and very well made. So I remember a day when I went to taste steak, and I asked for very, very well done.
Burn it.
And my friend says, "Are you sure? That's like going to be so hard to chew on." I'm like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you find support from the people around you, making new friends, people you can rely on and trust to help you make the right decisions.
Absolutely. No, thank you for sharing that. And I think you make a great point, right? Especially, I would say, in the South, or even maybe more so in Texas. I think having your steak cooked a certain way, right? But I appreciate you just sharing that. And I think that, just like you said, from even, a eating experience, how different that can look, and being able to navigate that. How would you say that, like, in that navigation, other than like having your friends that kind of help walk you through that or ask those questions, did you feel comfortable saying, no, I'm good with having it like fully cooked, or, I'm not comfortable trying it medium rare, or things like that?
Right. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I think the people here in Texas, and probably if I can generalize this statement, I feel like people in the United States are very welcoming and understanding when it comes to differences in culture. And they're able to help you navigate through the system. And I really appreciate that very much. And it helps me cope up with the differences from back home.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else have any experiences that they want to share around any culture shock that they've experienced in coming to the United States?
Well, mine may be a little funny as well, but it's transportation. Honestly, it's hard for me to understand that for you to reach point A to point B, you need a car. Because back home, in India at least, we have like, the public transport was so good that you could just hop on a bus and you reach point A to point B, no personal transport, and you're fine. But out here, especially as an international student who does not own a car, it's like we have to walk everywhere, or Uber, which is not always feasible. It gets a little expensive. So that was a bit of a culture shock for me. And homesickness, yes. It starts to creep in, I think, a semester in, because the first semester you're excited, new place, you're meeting new people. But once the semester is done, you feel like you're missing something. And it takes a while to figure out that's probably home. So yes, I did feel, it crept up to me more in the third semester, because I was like, I'm close to getting done, but not close to being home. So that was one of the things that I experienced. And to manage it, it was more like, I found family here. Like, I have wonderful, wonderful friends in HSC, and I'm thankful to meet them, because they make me feel welcome and not so much that I'm alone. So there's that.
I love that, and I'm so happy that the folks here at HSC, hopefully the other support systems, resources that we offer, help you all acclimate and feel supported in those ways in which you aren't able to be supported from your traditional support networks, right?
Yes.
So,
actually, to add to that, the resources in HSC are really good too, because I had like a good talk with the care team, and sometimes I realized that you need someone else to tell you it's okay. You're okay and you're doing great. So yes, that was really helpful for me to be at peace with my mental status right at this moment. So yes, that was really helpful.
Wonderful. We're always happy to hear you all utilizing these resources, and not just utilizing them, but that they're helpful, right? That we are making a difference in offering these resources. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else last comments on culture shock and homesickness?
A huge barrier for me, and I think everyone would used to say, "Oh, talk to people," but I'm very shy, and it's very difficult. And in my class, there is a lot of people from India, and the accent for me is very difficult. People who speak mainly Spanish or Portuguese like me, the accent makes sense in my head. It was really difficult for me, and I remember that I went to the CAP, the office, and I used all the resources. Mentorship, writing, because it was a huge barrier for me. And career readiness was really helpful, because I had to do my CV and go to interviews. And when language is a barrier during stressful moments and interviews, it's very difficult.
Thank you for sharing, and I think you make a great point, right? In the communication barriers, right? Whether that's accent, whether that's even like our proximity and body language, right? Like all of these things can be challenging for anyone, right? And so I just appreciate you sharing that, and again, utilizing your resources. So thank you.